My name is William Carlile. I'm doing my presentation over stick welding versus MIG welding. Um, I got my article from a website called agweb.com, um, powered by Farm Journal. The author is Dan Anderson. It was written on December 9, 2011. And the name of his article is actually Stick versus MIG. I'm doing this article because I'm attending Linear Tech for welding and joining technology. Um, this past semester I did some stick welding, and I just have recently got a job at Kubota where I'm doing MIG welding. So there's a lot of difference in those two types of welding. I'll go over real quick what stick welding is. Stick welding, or some called shielded metal arc welding. You have a metal rod that has flux coated powder along that rod. Um, you have a clamp. You clamp the rod. The end of the rod doesn't have coating on it. It's just metal. You clamp that into the clamp, and it has direct current. You clamp the clamp onto the table, gives it power from the metal. You weld. You strike that rod. When you strike it, it builds an arc, and you drag the rod along the metal, and it forms a weld. MIG, what MIG welding is that some call it wire welding, and then it's actually you have kind of a gun with a trigger. It's a little hose really with a metal nozzle. There's wire feeding through the tube. When you pull the trigger, wire comes out. That's what you weld with, is the wire shooting out the end of the nozzle. Okay, some things that they touch on in the article. Good things and bad things go along with each type of each welding. Um, farmers, okay, farmers they prefer stick welding. Many farmers use that because, like it mentions in the article, um, weather doesn't bother that type of welding. You can weld outside with stick welding. Um, the wind the wind doesn't bother stick welding. You can also you can weld on paint. You can weld on rusted metal, um, and you can't do that with MIG welding. You can't weld in a room where there's fan blowing, any kind of wind blowing. You can't really weld with MIG welding. You cannot weld on paint that will mess your weld up. Um, you cannot weld on dirty metal, rusted metal that will mess your weld up. Um, MIG welding also, like it mentions in the article, has a special gas built up in the tank to some of it does, not all of it. Some of it does, where it protects the weld from bubbling and protects it from any chemicals in the metal that may cause the weld to look bad. Um, so farmers they can't use MIG welding because of the wind blowing and mess the weld up. It'll cause the wire to move erratically. Um, they can't weld on their painted tractors with that. Um, some farmers think because of the fact that the equipment is manufactured with MIG welding that they can use MIG welding. And then when they try it, they see it doesn't work right. It doesn't work well. It doesn't give that really pretty weld look that it does in the manufacturing plant because of the environment that they're welding in. MIG welding, you can weld very thin metal with MIG welding and very thick welding. Stick welding, you cannot weld thin metal very well with stick welding. It's mainly used for thick welding. And that's about it.